Nearly 7,000 sales in a shop that's got no tags. What's going on? Let's talk about this. Okay, so this is the start in my new series that I'll be doing whenever I get round to it, talking about some of these top seller shops. Now, before, if this is your shop at any point or you're getting worried, don't stress. Any of these tricks and tips that I show you here we're talking about top seller shops, and anyone that comes along, they cannot just copy you because these shops are top sellers. This is like you deciding you want to be an actor and then seeing where all the interviews that Henry Cavill, that's his name, isn't it? Henry Cavill is doing and trying to follow along to those interviews. You're not at the same level, so people can't copy you. But I think there's some interesting examples from looking at some of these top seller shops to see what they're doing right. So perhaps it's something we could be inspired to in the future, or we're maybe worrying about things that we don't need to worry about, or just simply as this one. I had several people mention me and say, Pam, there is this shop. She's a top 1% seller, but she has no tags in her shop. How is that even possible? So we're going to look into some of the background, try and figure out what's going on, and yeah, most importantly, figure out, are tags all that important? Well, yes, they are, and no, they aren't. So let us get into this. First of all, let's have a look at this shop. And as I say, I'm not going to show any secret information that's not publicly available. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to diss any of these shops. They're doing fantastically well. So we're going to have a look at this shop and talk about what they have done, what they're doing right, what they could do even better. So, 6,847 sales for Boscal Studio, who's part of Boscal branding. So yeah, we can have a quick look, and nice looking shop. This is a shop with downloadable, editable business cards, logos, templates, digital stuff, a lot of it in Canva, very popular things. You can see it's simple, it's bright, and it's what people are looking for. And clearly, because people are buying them in great numbers. There's some great lot of reviews. I'm checking on. I've been checking for the past few days, and they're making about 50 sales a day just now. So they are definitely doing well. Right. Straight away, something they could do better. The shop policies are not much, so you can definitely do a bit better with adding shop policies. But does the shop really need to? And the most important thing. So, firstly, I can use my little super shortcut button from eRank. And this, if you see any listings or you see any shops and you're intrigued about, you can dive into it and get a bit of a closer look at the shop. So we see already Boscal Studios is in the top 1% of all sellers, and the shop 1.7 years old, so they're pretty new. This it's a pandemic baby. But yeah, they're doing well. They're averaging nearly 11 sales a day. I'm saying it's looking more like about 50 just now. So as general, you start a little bit lower and then they've built up. Yeah, they're doing fantastic, and this is some of their latest listings. Fantastic. But when we go into competitor tags, this is the hilarious one. They had no tags, now they have 3 tags. Not 3 tags on every listing. In all of their listings, they have 3 tags that are each used one time. That's hilarious. But so are tags all that important? Do tags help you rank? What's happening here? Well, firstly, I want to talk about how important tags are. Can you rank with no tags at all? So I did a little experiment. You know me, I'm used to doing these little experiments. So I started, I I used my common thing whenever I'm doing an experiment. I use the term dog ring bearer because this is a keyword that I know I can rank some of my listings for. It's very low competition. It doesn't get a massive amount of searches, so that I know I can do some experimentation with it and things aren't changing really quickly. I'm not saying it's a good keyword to use. I don't think I've had any sales from this keyword, but it's a good experimentation keyword. So I used eRank's rank checker, and the first thing I did was just, I have a few listings with this already, so I checked out to see where my best listings were for this, and I have this little listing on page 1 at rank 21. This was my starting thing, my starting position. So what I then did was I took this listing and I copied it. I didn't want to remove anything that was already there, any listings I already had. So I copied the listing and I just optimized it a little bit more. I'm going for dog ring bearer, and this was dog ring bearers in plural because it's 2 dogs. And the same in the tags, dog ring bearer. So I went on and I changed the title, and these are the tags that are now added into the new listing. So dog ring bearer and dog ring bearers. So we had both of that, and the title was now optimized for dog ring bearer. I just took the S out. I did nothing else different. Changed the initial photograph so that the listing looked different so I could recognize it. Hit publish, made this duplicate listing, and then left it about half an hour for the algorithm to check into it, and went back to eRank's rank checker. Did the same thing. I searched for my shop for dog ring bearer to see, and here we were, this brand new listing that I'd put up with slightly better optimized, and it's new, so it gets a newness boost, is ranking slightly higher than the original listing that I had there. We're on page 1, rank 16. So what I did was I then got rid of that listing. I deactivated it. I didn't delete it because I wanted to be able to use it to copy. And I went into my deactivated listings, copied this one, left everything else exactly the same, apart from I removed all of the tags. There's no tags. Now, people freak out and they think you can't even do this. But actually, when you're filling it in, if you have a look, tags is optional. It is something there. It is helpful for your SEO. It does tell you use all 13 tags to get found, but they are optional. So I created this listing. I did exactly the same. It was a copy of the deactivated listing, so it was exactly the same. All the tags were removed. It was published. I left it about half an hour and then checked to see where it was ranking, and so my original one was back on page 1 because the first copied one, I'd deactivated it, so it's no longer ranking. So my original one's back. It's up. It's ranking at rank number 22, whereas I think it was 26 at the start. But that's probably because we're playing around with dog ring bearers, so Etsy's starting to realize I'm relevant for it. Who knows? Or it's just natural fluctuations. But it's this listing at the bottom that is the one that I've just created. As you can see, eRank shows you the title and the tags. So for dog ring bearer, this listing with 0 tags is ranking on page 4. Okay, it's not the most competitive keyword, but there's over 2,000 listings showing up for this, and this is ranking at position 190. So without any tags at all, my listing is shown up for the keyword. The title is enough to tell Etsy what my listing is all about. So there is some answers for you for Boscal Studio. It is absolutely possible to rank for keywords with no tags at all. That's not saying that tags aren't necessary. Let's come back to me. Tags, what you've got when you're looking to rank for something, there's so many factors that go into ranking. Now, it's not, people think it's like a checkbox. Fill in all your tags, fill in all your photographs, do this, do that, do the other thing, and you will rank higher than everything else. There's a lot more going on. And one of the most important things is that you can't see in doing a quick test like what I've done, but it is how customers interact with your listing when they see it. So all you have to do is do enough so that Etsy understands what your listing's about, so it understands who to show it to. The better you optimize, the higher up it'll rank. Now, with personalization, this means that you can rank. Not everybody sees you at the same place. This ranking position that we see is like a kind of average. So sometimes you'll be seen higher, sometimes lower. The better you do with your title and tags and all these things that you control, the more often Etsy's going to rank, going to show you to people. It ranks you slightly higher, so you get shown more often at the start when your listing has its newness boost. Now, what then happens is, if your listing does well, if when Etsy was to show my listing for dog ring bearer, people were avidly clicking on it, then Etsy would start to show it a little more often. It would start to climb up the rankings. So this is very much what can happen with shops like this one. They've given enough information to Etsy so that Etsy experiments with it a couple of times. And if it experiments with it and people click on it and buy it more than the other listings that are being shown, then Etsy will rank it higher. That could well be what's happening. There's enough information for Etsy to understand what the shop's all about, to understand what the customers like, so it ranks higher. Now, could this shop do even better? Absolutely. When they're creating new listings, there is the possibility that because they're not adding in their tags, they're not doing all the things to optimize, they don't actually have their policies all that well filled in and everything. So whenever they create a new listing, it might not start as well as it could. So it might take a little bit of time to gain traction. So if they actually added these important tags, doesn't have to be 13, but the important keywords they want to rank for, if they actually added them and did all the good things, then they might start off being shown more often for a new listing and get to that good ranking place even earlier. Or they could show up for some keywords that they haven't shown up for because they just haven't fed Etsy. They haven't given the algorithm good enough information. But they've got nearly they're a top 1% seller, so they are doing something right. And the other thing here that we have to consider is, for most big shops, SEO is good. SEO is important. Getting seen in search is fantastic, but it's not the only place. For most big shops, somewhere between about 20% and 70% of views and sales come from Etsy search. Every shop is slightly different. Search is more important for some than others, but some shops are getting views and sales from other places. They could have social media, they could have clients that are coming to them for courses on how to do things and going and buying. I've had this. I've had lecturers at uni that are lecturing on a certain subject, and they're the author of the best-selling book on this subject. And the book's the best selling on this subject because to take their course, you have to buy their book, which totally makes sense. They wrote about what they're learning. So it could be this person is training lots of people and the people have to buy downloads from them, have to buy templates from them. That could totally be a thing. So we don't know. They could be driving their own traffic. They could be getting views from Google search. Google search is a different animal than Etsy search. Google don't care about tags really at all. Google, you can rank on Google with no tags, no problem whatsoever. So they could be aiming for and focusing on Google search. They could do really well with adverts as well. Or this is a high volume categories. the terms that they're using is there's a lot of people looking for these things. So another place people can get seen, get found, which when it came out, people complained about this. But if you've been on a listing, you'll often see, oh, if you like this, you may also like other items like. So people might be finding somebody else's shop, somebody else's listings, and getting the you might also like, and they click on that and they buy from this person's shop instead. So the views aren't coming from search, but they're still the search engine optimize. Well, the finding the keywords that people are looking for is still kind of important because it puts them in the right place, that Etsy understands that if you liked this, you might also like that. And the other thing, for a lot of these listings, this shop could just have return customers. If you were buying business cards from them and you loved their business cards and you've run out, you might go back and buy some more business cards. You might get different logos designed from them. They might have lots of repeat customers. So it seems really weird that a shop can do super well without any tags at all. And I'm not saying don't use tags, especially this is the little boost if we're new and we're trying to get seen, or we're the little guys. This is our extra kind of super secret sauce. This is our way to get in and get seen in places to beat our competition. And our competition is not these big guys. Our competition is all the little guys that are just starting out or just at the same level as us. So it doesn't take long if you're already figuring out keywords and things. If you're already figuring out, this is your market research, you're figuring out the keywords that buyers are searching for, so you know the things to create. So you already know the keywords. Now, you don't, people spend hours trying to figure out what their tags should be. Don't spend a load of time. You know the keywords, type the keywords into your tags, list your listing and see what happens. Keywords can help, but they shouldn't be the be all and end all. And you certainly can, if you know what you're doing with other things, you certainly can have a shop with zero. Well, you can have a shop with 3 keywords and nearly 7,000 sales. Now, if there are any other shops, I've got a few I'm planning to have a look at. But if you found any other shops you would like me to dig deep into and find out what they're doing, maybe what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right, where are their sales coming from? Yeah, we will have a dig into all of this. But I hope that helped. I hope that helped you see that tags can help. They certainly help my listing rank higher, but they're not they're not the be all and end all that everybody thinks they are. Anyway, thank you so much. I'll see you next time.